Hard games have a very special way of humbling you. They don't care about your ego, your past wins, or how good you think you are. They'll tear you down, make you rage, and then, if you stick with it, they'll reward you with the kind of victory that feels unforgettable. In this video, we'll be looking at some of the hardest video games ever made, ones that only a tiny percentage of players ever truly finish. Some of them look innocent, others wear their brutality proudly, but all of them will test you in ways most games wouldn't dare.
So the noble shinobi stands in our way.
Let's start with Code Vein. Many people call this the Dark Souls of anime, and honestly, that's a fair description. It's an action RPG where you battle your way through a twisted post-apocalyptic world, mastering brutal combat while uncovering a dark, emotional story. Here, the bosses hit hard, the enemies punish you if you get even slightly greedy, and the levels are designed to keep you constantly on edge. What makes it tough is the fine balance. You feel powerful throughout the game, but you will constantly be reminded that power means nothing without patience. Now, Sifu is one of the most unforgiving martial arts games ever made. Every single fight here feels personal. You're blocking, parrying, dodging, and striking with insane precision. One mistake, and enemies overwhelm you instantly. What makes it stand out is the aging mechanic. Every time you die, your character literally grows 1 year older. With age, your health shrinks, but your attacks hit harder. That means every loss carries weight, and by the time you reach 70, you'll have to start all over again. Blasphemous takes difficulty and wraps it in religious horror. It's a side-scrolling action platformer inspired by Metroidvanias, with brutal combat and punishing exploration. The world is dark, cruel, and filled with grotesque imagery that makes every death feel heavier. What makes Blasphemous special is its atmosphere. It's not just hard for the sake of being hard, it's oppressive. You feel the weight of every hit, every loss, and every boss fight feels like an act of penance. Dante's Inferno is an entirely different beast. Inspired by the poem The Divine Comedy, it's a hack-and-slash game that feels like a cousin of God of War, but meaner. The combat is heavy, the enemies are relentless, and the bosses are massive. The theme makes it even more brutal. You're literally fighting through the 9 circles of hell, each filled with grotesque designs and moral torment. It's not just about surviving, it's about enduring. At first glance, Cuphead looks innocent, like you're playing through an old 1930s cartoon. The hand-drawn animation, the jazz soundtrack, it all feels lighthearted and charming. But the second you step into a boss fight, the game shows its true colors. This is a run-and-gun shooter where every boss has chaotic attack patterns, screen-filling projectiles, and almost no room for mistakes. It's trial and error in its purest form. You'll die dozens of times on a single fight, but every attempt gets you closer to victory as you learn the patterns. And when you finally beat that boss after hours of failure, the joy is unmatched. Next, we've got Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, another brutal entry in the Souls-like family, but with a twist. The focus here is on parrying. Every fight feels like a deadly rhythm game. You have to deflect at just the right moment or you're instantly punished. The combat is fast and cinematic, inspired by Chinese martial arts, and when you finally sync with the rhythm, it feels amazing. The thing is, Wo Long doesn't let you fake it. You either master the timing or you get crushed. Next, we've got a difficult game about climbing. And yes, that's the actual name of the game. Here, you're literally climbing a mountain using awkward physics, and the whole game is built on one cruel truth, one mistake, and you can lose hours of progress in seconds. That's the hook. It's not about reflexes or learning patterns, it's about mental toughness. The game wants to break your spirit, and honestly, it succeeds for a lot of people. Now, if we're talking about legendary difficulty, we have to talk about Ninja Gaiden. This is the kind of game that built its reputation on being merciless. Enemies attack with no mercy, bosses push you to the edge, and even normal encounters feel like boss fights sometimes. You can't just mash buttons, you've got to master the combat system, respect the mechanics, and stay sharp every second. For a lot of people, this was the game that taught them what a real challenge feels like. Celest is a platformer that's beautiful, emotional, and absolutely brutal. You play as Madeline, climbing a mountain with simple controls. Jump, dash, climb. But the levels push those mechanics to the absolute limit. Every screen is a puzzle of perfect timing and precision. What makes Celeste special, though, is how it ties difficulty to its story. The challenge isn't just about skill, it's about overcoming personal struggles, and that makes every victory feel even more meaningful. Moving on, we have Thymesia. This one's a fast-paced Souls-like with a Plague Doctor aesthetic. Its unique hook is the combat system. You're constantly stealing and using enemies' own plague weapons against them. It's aggressive, relentless, and pushes you to play on the offensive. The bosses force you to master quick parries and sharp timing, and the speed of it makes every fight feel like a knife fight where one mistake ends it all. Now, the Witness doesn't test your reflexes, it tests your brain. It's a massive open-world puzzle game where almost everything on the island is part of the puzzle. You're constantly learning without any tutorials, just observation. There's no combat, no enemies, just hundreds of mind-bending puzzles that get increasingly abstract. The hardest part isn't solving them, it's realizing how much you don't understand. Now let's talk about Lies of P. Inspired by Dark Souls and Bloodborne, this game takes the Pinocchio fairy tale and twists it into a dark, brutal Souls-like. It's all about tight, punishing combat where every dodge and parry matters. The bosses are monstrous, the world is cruel, and it constantly tests your ability to stay focused. It feels familiar if you've played Souls games, but it carves its own identity with its eerie setting and brutal pacing. Slain Back from Hell takes difficulty in a very different direction. On the surface, it looks simple. Swing your sword, kill monsters, keep moving. But the game is punishing with its timing. Enemies hit hard, traps kill instantly, and if your parries or jumps are even slightly off, you're done. It's one of those games where the atmosphere makes you want to push forward, but the challenge keeps slapping you back until you really learn its patterns. Moving on to Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. This is the kind of game that doesn't even give you time to breathe. The combat is fast, flashy, and punishing. Parrying is everything, and the timing window is so tight that even skilled players get wrecked if they're off by a fraction. The soundtrack, the boss fights, the sheer chaos, it all adds up to one of the most intense experiences in gaming. Now comes Hollow Knight, along with its sequel Silksong. These games are a masterclass in pure design. Every area, enemy, and boss teaches you through pain. You explore a massive underground world, slowly learning how to survive it. The bosses are precise, the combat feels tight, and the soundtrack makes every moment hit harder. What makes Hollow Knight special is that it earns its difficulty. It never feels unfair, just brutally honest. And Silksong is faster, sharper, and even more difficult. And obviously, we can't skip FromSoftware games, the gold standard of difficulty. Whether it's Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, or Elden Ring, every one of them is built to break players. Trying to cover each one would make this video 3 hours long, but we all know what they're about. Brutal bosses, brilliant world design, and that perfect mix of frustration and satisfaction. They're not unfair, they're disciplined. Whenever you die, you'll learn, and you'll come back stronger. So there you have it, a list of some of the hardest, most punishing games ever made. Which one of these do you like the most? And did I miss one that deserves a spot? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
And may the age of fire perpetuate.